Hi, welcome to week 5. Week 5, our focus is going to be simple and compound interest. This is a video cast on the note. Since we did not do simple interest, this should be relatively new material for you, but it is not very difficult. So if you notice, I loaded the same document and I am going to go through the notes from this document. So you can either jot them down or maybe you'll remember them. I'll try to make it really simple. Okay, so for simple interest, we're going to just define a few words here. And the simple interest is the amount of money that you borrow, or the amount of money that you earn if you invest, or the extra money that you have to pay if you borrow. So the most important part of this definition is that it is money that is earned. Another way of thinking about this is extra money, because that's what the interest is. You don't have to do anything but let your money sit in the bank. Right now, there are 3 components that make simple interest. The first component is the principal. The principal is the amount of money you begin with. So probably the most important part of this definition would be money you begin with. All right, so you start with the principal, that you put your money in the bank, and then you're going to look at a few other things. I'm going to move the percent right here. There we go. Okay, the percent is is just the percent. That's what the rate is. You'll see, look for the percent sign, and you're going to look for the percent sign, and then that'll give you the percent. Okay, then your other is time. I don't know why time is so small, but it is. Time is always in years. Right, so we're going to look at I'm going to move this up. This is our words. Okay, this is our equation. Okay, this is like the main part of this that you might want to look at. So you're going to see that the interest is I, and oops, did not mean to do that. Okay, and I'm going to add a couple arrows. I don't know what that is. Okay, we're going to do a couple arrows. It's just like being back at school. I mess it up. It'll just go right through the mess ups. All right, interest goes with the big I. The principal goes with the, not the equal sign. The principal goes with the P. Okay, let's see if I can move this around a little bit. There we go. The rate is the percent. It's right there. And time is always in years. So you've got money, whoops. Okay, you have money, percent, time in years. All right, so this is our basic equation. It is the internet, it is not the internet, it is the interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. All right, so going down. Okay, we're gonna work on this first problem. Get rid of this, there we go. All right, so Spencer is taking out a loan in the amount of $15,000. Now, I am going to tell you that simple interest is not really used anymore in the real world. It's a little more complicated, but this is where all of the complicated banking formulas come from. This is our basic little formula, which is simple interest. All right, so it says that Spencer's taking out a loan in the amount of $15,000. If you look down here, I have the $15,000 with the P, that is my principal. Okay, he has 2 choices for the loan. The 2 is just the 2 things we're going to look for. So basically, I'm going to take my 2 choices, which they've listed for me right down here. So let's highlight. Let's highlight first our principal, which is $15,000. Our rates are the percents, and our time, is the year. All right, so we've got our 3 things that we're going to multiply. Now, I need to tell you something about rate. With rate, before you do anything with it, you need to divide the rate by 100, because that's what that percent sign means. It means divide. There's the little slash right there. The slash is a divide sign, and you have 2 zeros for 100. So you are going to divide by 100. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to take that 4% and I'm going to divide 4% by 100. 4 divided by 100, and if I do that in the calculator, I'm going to get equals 0.04. Okay, my 5 is going to be 5 divided by 100, which is going to equal 0.05. So you have to divide them by 100 before you put them in the equation. That's usually the easiest way to do. When we divide by 100, we are just moving that decimal place. There we go, 2 places. I'm not going to do anything special with the 4 and the 6, so I'm going to type my first equation down here. My first equation is, let's put that up there. And my first equation is going to be 15, oops, put it over here, 15,000 times 0.04 times, I couldn't think what the times one was, times the time, which is 4. All right, so I'm going to get my calculator. You can use your calculator, and I'm just going to plug that into my cell phone calculator. This time I'm not going to try to show it to you. All right, I'm just going to do 15,000 times 0.04 times 4. Type it into my calculator, hit equals, and my calculator gives me 2,400. So that means that the interest that I would make on that $15,000 is going to be $2,400. Okay, now I'm going to do the other one. Since I'm using the same principle, I can go ahead and just move this 15,000 over here. But for the rate, I'm going to have to put in what I got here. The rate for this one, let's move this over here, or not. Okay, 0.05 is my rate, and my time is 6, which I got from that. There's the 6, so I got the 6 from here, and I got the 0.5 from right there. There's my 0.5. I'm going to pick up my calculator again, and I'm going to type in 15,000 times 0.05 times 6. And this is the answer that my computer gives me, or my phone gives me. It gives me 4,500. That means that my interest is 4,500. And 2 answers. So now I'm going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to see what did they ask. It says, here's my highlighter, which I'm doing at the end, because I never looked at this. What is the difference between the amounts of interest that Spencer would have to pay for the loans? What is the amount of interest? Here we go. All right, so, the difference. My keyword is right here. It's difference. That is my keyword. So that means subtract. So it means that I'm just going to take my 2 numbers and I'm going to subtract. So my solution to the problem is going to be 4,500. Pull this down. There we go. 4,500 minus 2,400. And that equals, I'm going to say 2,100, but I'm not sure. 4,500 minus 2,400 equals 2,100. So the answer to the problem is that it is a $2,100 difference. So you would make $2,100 more if you invested it for just a little bit more interest, and you kept it for 2 more years. And that's one of the things that we're going to see with interest, and that is that the time element is that what makes the big deal. Okay, so that's an example of solving interest problems. And what we're going to do now is we're going to have to do 2 more pages, and I'm going to start you on each page, and then you can do that. And I'm looking at my time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video with the notes. This is going to be part 1, and I will start part 2. You can use part 2 to get, and I'll show you how to do the next page. All right, here. See you in a